worked on Pythagorean Theorem, which is, we reviewed that Pythagorean Theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared if we are assuming that c is the hypotenuse and a and b is the leg. But if I'm looking for one of the leg, then you have to rearrange so that a squared is equal to c squared, the biggest one, hypotenuse, minus b squared. Okay. Now, the Pythagorean theorem only works when we are working with a right angle triangle, and it is only involving the length, not angles. Okay. But if we are looking for angles, then we have to start using something called a Sohcahtoa. Okay. And these are the acronyms. We call it a primary trig ratios. Okay, so we read it as Sohcahtoa. Now, Sohcahtoa, it stands for three different trigonometry. So stands for sine, and then the full name is sine. Ka is, the full name is cosine. Toa, the full name is tangent. Now the formula that you need to memorize is for sine, we only use 3 letters. So it's sine, sin, 3 letter, and then theta, or I'm just going to put x as angle, equals O over H, opposite over hypotenuse. And ka, which is cosine, 3 letters again, cos, angle is equal to A over H, adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is tan, tangent, theta or angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now, what do these letters mean? Well, if you look at a right angle triangle, so Sohcahtoa only works on right angle triangle. Now the first question is, the most important question is, where is your starting angle? If my starting angle is over here, x, okay, so this is my starting angle. So that means this length must be opposite. It's opposite from my given angle. And then hypotenuse is always opposite from 90 degrees. And the remaining is adjacent, right beside the angle. Okay. Now, but what if I were to have my starting angle over here? This is my starting angle. So that means my hypotenuse is always opposite from 90 degrees, doesn't change. But this time you will notice that opposite is over here. This length is opposite from my starting angle. So therefore, this is opposite, and the length beside touching it, this will be adjacent. So notice how, depending on where your starting angle is, your labeling adjacent and opposite will change. So please remember to ask yourself, where is your starting angle? And then after that, we can use these primary trig ratios. So let's try practicing some labeling. The name opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So let's take a look at letter A. So it looks like my starting angle is M. It's labeled for us. If my starting angle is M, again, hypotenuse is always opposite from 90 degrees, and the length NO is opposite from my starting angle. So this is opposite, and this is adjacent. What about letter D? This length, so we're given the starting angle V. This must be hypotenuse, opposite from 90 degrees. And this length is opposite from my starting angle. So the length WX is opposite, and the length VX, which is right beside the angle, is adjacent. Okay. So now this time, I want you guys to take out your calculator and make sure your calculator is in degree mode. At the top, you will see DEG. Okay. Now, using your scientific calculator, I want you to find these three buttons: sin, cos, and tangent. So when you see them on the calculator, I want you to press sine 65 and then press enter. So once you press enter, for sine 65 degrees, the value, the ratio, is going to be 0.4 decimal, so 9063. Okay, so let's try cosine. So press the cosine button and type in 3,5, enter, or equal sign. You will get 0.8192. If you're not getting these values, that means your calculator is in a wrong mode. Okay. Next, tangent 75 equal sign. Then you will get 3.7321. Okay. So then you will do rest of it as a practice, just to make sure that your calculator is in the correct mode. Now let's try some questions then. It says solve for side x. So we're looking for length here. But unfortunately, even though it's a right angle triangle, we cannot use Pythagorean theorem, because in order to use Pythagorean theorem, you need to have two lengths. So we know this is 14, but we don't know what this length is. So therefore, we have to use Sohcahtoa. Sohcahtoa is used for when you are looking for an angle or the length. So write down Sohcahtoa. Now, first of all, let's label where my starting angle is. So it looks like my starting angle is over here, 29. Let's label all the sides. So this is hypotenuse, opposite from 90-degree angle. X must be opposite from my given angle. And 14 must be adjacent. Now, through process of elimination, we are looking for O, X. So which formula contains O? So and Toa. So Ka is out of the picture because it does not have what we're looking for. Next, look at what we're given. It looks like we're given adjacent. So then so does not have adjacent. So by process of elimination, sine is out of the picture. So we must be using, we have to use Toa. We're looking for opposite and we're given adjacent. So therefore, let's write down the full formula for Toa. Tangent x is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now let's plug in information that we know. Tangent x, which is the angle, is 29 degrees, equals opposite, which is x, over adjacent, 14. So to isolate for x, we're going to move 14 to the other side. So opposite of dividing is multiplying. So 14 times tangent 29 is equal to x. Therefore, on your calculator, you're going to press 14 times tangent 29 equal sign, and you will get 7.8 meter using your calculator. Okay. Okay, let's try next question. Letter C. Again, let's write down the formula. Sohcahtoa. Sohcahtoa, because we're looking for a length here and we're not given both lengths, so we cannot use Pythagorean Theorem. So we got to use Sohcahtoa. It looks like this is my starting angle. 8 is hypotenuse. This over here is opposite. And right beside it, x is my adjacent. Using process of elimination, we are looking for a, and we're given h. So which formula contains a and h? It's cosine, ka. So sine and tangent is out of the picture because we're looking for adjacent, a, and we're given hypotenuse, h. So write down the formula. Cos x is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So let's plug in what we know. Cosine 21 degrees is equal to x over 8. Okay. Then again, same thing. We're going to move 8 to the other side. So 8 times cosine 21 equals x. And when you multiply 8 times cosine 21, x is equal to 7.5 meter. Okay. Good. Any questions so far? Okay. Now, what about letter B? So again, we're looking for the length, and we're not given two length, so we have to use Sohcahtoa. And this is my starting angle. From my starting angle, it looks like 75 is my opposite. X is hypotenuse, opposite from 90 degree. And this must be adjacent. So I ask myself, which formula contains what I'm looking for, h, and what we're given, o? O and h. It looks like sine. So rest of it is out of the picture. So sine x or theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Let's plug it in. Sine 26 degrees is 75 over x. Now this time is a little bit different because now we have x in the denominator, not in the numerator. So what you have to do is, here's the rule of thumb or trick. If your variable is in the denominator, all you need to do is just switch places. Switch place. So then x is now over here, and in the denominator is we're going to have sine 26. Okay, so keep in mind, if my variable is in the denominator, switch places. But if your variable is in the numerator, all you need to do is just bring the denominator to the other side. So 75 divided by sine 26, you're going to get 171.1 centimeter. Okay, so this one was a little bit different. Okay, good. Now let's tackle some word problems. Now the word problems, the difficult part is if they don't give you a diagram, that's where the difficult part is. Okay, so I'm going to dive right into number 6. Okay, the Cathedral Bluff in Toronto, Ontario are eroded sandstone cliffs that rise 90 meters above Lake Ontario. Natalie is 1.4 meters tall. Okay, so Natalie is here, and the cliff is 90 meters tall. From her position at the top of the cliff, The angle between the surface of the lake and her line of sight is 39 degrees. Find the distance between the boat and the base of the cliff to the nearest tenth of a meter. So it looks like we're looking for a distance from the boat over here and to the base of the cliff over here. So this is what we're looking for, x. So let's label what we're given. So this, it looks like it's a right angle triangle. Okay. Now, this is my starting angle, 39. So this is hypotenuse, opposite from 90. This length, the whole length over here, is opposite. And to find the whole length of opposite, it looks like 90 plus 1.4. So that will give me 91.4 meter. That's my opposite. And this is adjacent. So in order to look for A, we have to use Sohcahtoa because we're using an angle and we're only given one length. So we're looking for adjacent and it looks like we're given opposite. So using Sohcahtoa, Sohcahtoa, which formula contains A and O? Toa, right? It contains O and A. So the rest of it is out of the picture. So what we're going to do, let's plug it in. Tangent x is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tangent 39 degrees is opposite, which is 91.4, divided by adjacent, which is x. So again, same thing. If we're looking for a variable in the denominator, all we need to do is just switch places. Switch. So x is equal to 91.4 divided by tangent 39 degrees. Therefore, when you do 91.4 divide tangent 39, you will get 112.9 meter. So because it's a word problem, make sure you end with the sentence. Therefore, the boat and the cliff is 112.9 meter far from each other. Okay, good. Let's try number 7. Okay, so this one, it does not give us a diagram, so that's a difficult part. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is 17.9 centimeter long. How long is a side opposite an angle that measures 27 degrees to the nearest tenth of a centimeter? Okay, so it looks like because it's we're working with a right angle triangle, so I'm going to draw a right angle triangle. And the hypotenuse, which is opposite from 90 degrees, is 17.9 centimeter. And let's say, doesn't matter, that 27 could be here or here. Let's say my 27 is over here. Then they're saying, how long is the opposite of an angle that measures 27? So we're looking for the opposite length over here, x. Right? This is the opposite. And this is hypotenuse. And this must be adjacent. We will have to, again, use a Sohcahtoa because we're not given two length. So we're looking for opposite. And we're given hypotenuse. So we need a formula that contains O and H, which is sine, right? So rest is out of the picture. So using the formula, sine x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Sine, let's plug in our angle, 27 degrees is equal to opposite x over 17.9. So if we're looking for x, I'm going to move 17.9 to the other side. So you multiply because it's opposite from dividing. So 17.9 times sine 27 is equal to x. So when you punch it in, you multiply all together, x is equal to 8.1 centimeter. So that's how long the opposite side is going to be. The next question is, what is the measure of the third angle in this triangle? Well, to find the third angle over here, we know that the sum of triangle add up to 180 degrees. So to find the remainder angle, well, 180 minus 90 minus 27. So therefore, when you subtract it, it's going to be 63 degrees. So therefore, the third angle is 63 degrees.